For Kaylee, he says, before we started dating, sometimes I would text Laura, or I was in like a text group with other people, and I would hear that Laura was working at other places other than Starbucks, like Giant Eagle or library, and sometimes I would get hints to where she was, even when I was about to go to bed. But I would get up, put my slippers back on, take my slippers off, put my shoes back on, and just happened to stop by late at night to see her. He says he later found out that she was doing it to test to see if he would come by. he passed that test. Caleb asked me to take just a moment to share a little bit of their story with you, in case you haven't heard some of the details. And so, to start it off, when Jesus Christ calls anyone to follow, we never have any idea where he might lead us.
So how did you two first meet?
So we met at Starbucks. I used to come in and hang out in the coffee shop a lot because I didn't have an office close to work, and so I would just work on things, and he would always kind of come out and say hey on his breaks.
I walked by and I see Laura just sitting there with her Bible open, and it caught my eye.
So we met at Starbucks and got to know each other there.
I found her to be really approachable, and when I mean that, she's very gentle.
I think I just noticed that he was really kind and friendly to not just me, but the friends that I would bring in, or just all of the customers. He's just very much a people person, just very caring and interested in what other people, just interested in their lives and getting to know them, and very other-centered.
I felt affirmed in who I am. I felt valued. I felt listened to. I felt interesting. I felt that I had a voice that was valuable. I felt I don't know. That's just kind of who Laura is. She just makes you feel like the center of the universe. And, I could have been anything. I could have been an idiot, and she would have been like, yeah, that's great. You're great. And I don't know. I think that was kind of my first impression of her.
About her. What you see is what you get, and she's very genuine. She's very loving and genuine in her love for people, and yeah.
I mean, I could go on and on about things that I love about him. I mean, I feel like he's really just humble. I think his humility comes through. He's quick to apologize and quick to take interest in other people. He's compassionate. He cares for people well. He loves me very well. Like even when I'm being a punk, he just takes the good with the bad and the ugly and the mess, and steps in and loves me in the middle of it all. And he's just faithful. He loves the Lord, and he calls me back to what's true when I'm a mess or when I'm losing sight of the truth. And so, yeah. And he's really funny, and he's a great hugger, and yeah.
I guess it was at Christmas time when we had gathered at my other grandson's house, and I met her and really got to talk to her. Yes, I liked her right away, and I'm very happy for both of them.
Last question was, when did you know he or she was the one, though? Like, when was it being that serious? Laura said, I thought he might be the one kind of early on. I saw lots of potential, but it still took thought, prayer. You guys know Laura, of course, it took lots of thought, prayer, input, trusted godly counsel, and family before I was totally sure. But for Caleb, he says, I knew when I was on a beach in the Bahamas. I was there, and all I could think about was Laura. That's when I knew. We had not started dating yet, and I hadn't even told her how I felt yet. Much of my trip there was spent contemplating if I should pursue a relationship with her. But when you're on a beach in the Bahamas and all you can think about is this one person, that's a pretty clear indication that something special is going on. Amen.
Good evening. On behalf of Caleb, Laura, and their families, welcome to this celebration of their marriage. Let's enter into this worship service reminding ourselves of these truths. Loved ones, since the beginning of humanity, God has ordained marriage for His glory and for human happiness.
I walked alone to you, my heart, my home. Like the first man, I was cut so deep by His knife. When I awoke from my sleep, oh my Lord, she's beautiful. She's a part of me.
And I was like, Caleb, give me your number so you can come to the movie with us. And so I was like, yes, got his number. And then I was like, what if I do a little group text, right? And so Laura was like, that was pretty sly. Good job getting his number. And now I have it too. And I was like, you're welcome. You are welcome.
When we're making these vows, we make promises that on our own, we're not empowered to keep. We can't naturally keep them. Naturally, our hearts are wired to be self-oriented and self-focused, and it goes against our nature to vow to God that we will esteem someone beyond ourselves or above ourselves, and that we will lay down our lives for another. That's not a promise that we can naturally keep. But the good news of the gospel is that Christ, by his Spirit, can empower us to keep the vows that we make to each other.
Laura was this person that I was always aware that I had feelings for her. I was always aware that there was something there. And it became something that I could not shake. It became that thing that I was talking to my friends about, asking their advice. Hey, there's this girl that comes into my store, and this is who she is, this is what she's about, she seems great. But there was always like a little bit of timidity on my end to pursue it. Like I didn't know if I was good enough or worthy enough. Like I found and knew like initially that she was something very great.
I don't know if there's one like big aha moment, but yeah, I think maybe just whenever I really started to think more about like what's best for him, or I wanted good for him before myself. I think that's kind of an indicator for me that I really do care about this guy, and he means a lot to me. I think he's the one.
Caleb and Laura, by virtue of the authority invested in me as an ordained minister in the Church of Jesus Christ, it gives me great pleasure to pronounce you married, husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Now may the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace today and forevermore. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Caleb Schlegel.
She shows me what I mean to her. She reminds me daily of what I mean to her. But most importantly, she reminds me of who I am in him. And to me, that's the greatest love that someone, could give you. That's the greatest way anyone could love you. And she does that well. She does that great.
I'm so convinced that this is something that God has done, that God's brought us together, because our story just doesn't make sense apart from that. And so I think that really gives me so much peace to just know that this is a good thing. Apart from the Lord, I wouldn't be in Ohio, and I wouldn't have ever run into Caleb. And so I think I just look at my story and at his and how sweetly they mesh together. And so I think that's just very affirming for me that I never would have picked him, but I can't imagine someone that would be a better fit for me. And so I feel like that has to be of the Lord. And so I think that's why him.
You always have your brother's best interests at heart, and always looking out for him. I don't think I could, if I had to hand pick, I don't think I could find a more beautiful, more wonderful Christian woman for my brother. I've got 2 daughters that are absolutely crazy about you. I'm excited about you guys as a couple. Welcome to the family. We love you both. To Kay and Laura.